It is hot as hell today. It is like 91 right now, but the peak today earlier was about 94 degrees. Oh my God. Whoo! I couldn't even sit in the house today. I don't have any air conditioning in my house right now. I'm not embarrassed by that. I couldn't even sit in my house today because it was so hot. My house is like a sauna. I just stopped by to just get something to drink real quick, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's baking here." So luckily, I was smart enough to say to myself, "You know what? Let me at least open the window in here and get some air in here because it is." When I say bleeding, I mean it's bleeding hot, and it's not even moisture in the air. It's no nothing. It's just hot. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll try to make the best of it or whatever the case may be. In the meantime, make sure you guys donate so I can get me an air conditioner. We got a goal right now. We're going to up the goal. Earlier it was 400. I had some contributors, and I appreciate everybody that did contribute. I want to say y'all names again: TMH, Annette. Shout out to Keisha77. I appreciate you, sis. Whatever, man. And everybody else, make sure you donate to the Cash App. That's $STRINGERBELL80. Also, there's a PayPal link in the description box. And also, there's also a link for GoFundMe, which, like I said, we're trying to raise up to 2,000, and I think we can do it. I got almost 10,000 followers, so I don't see why it should be a problem. That's what I wanted to talk about real quick. Earlier today, give me 1 second, guys. Earlier today, I'm outside because I just can't be in the house. Earlier today, I did a video, and I was talking about G-Dep, one of our bad boy alumni brothers, or whatever the case may be. And I was talking about the hardships he's having right now because he's trying to they're trying to get him clemency so he can get out of prison. And he's been in there for a couple of years now, whatever the case may be. It's an old case, and hopefully he will be exounded from that and get out in the streets or whatever. And I said a couple things in there, and I mentioned Puff and a couple other different things that I paraphrased here and there, whatever the case may be. And hopefully, if you haven't seen the video, just go down below. I also did an upload after I finished talking to my psychiatrist today. I'm not embarrassed. I have to sit with them for like an hour. So that was another reason I was like, hey, there's no way I'm sitting in this apartment for an hour talking to this lady. And it's hot as hell in here like this. This is going to be all kinds of weird. You know what I mean? So, I went later on, a few minutes later, and I went to Blog TV, and they had an upload from my ex-boss doing the interview, Sean Prez. I still say still my same boss. I love Prez to death, man. Shout out to you, big bro. You know what I mean? I mean that. That's my big brother. So I'm sitting there, and if you guys don't know who Sean Prez is, he's formerly a Bad Boy Entertainment at the marketing department. I worked for the man for years. A great man in general. I speak to Sean Prez from time to time, not as regularly as I should, but I speak to a lot of people in the music industry that do know me or whatever the case may be. So when I went to go look at this upload at Vlad TV, at the beginning of this particular portion of the upload, you have Young Jock, who's ex-Bad Boy artist. I actually have been around Jock before. Last time I saw Young Jock was in Miami. Right off of Collins there. We were somewhere in front of one of those hotels. That was around about 2000, maybe 13 or 14. That was the last time I saw that man physically. I was with my brother Chrome at the time. And so we were talking to him or whatever. He just didn't rub me the right way, to be honest with you. I didn't like the way he was looking at me. That was my first time meeting the guy. And so it was kind of weird when I got into the circumference of the guy because I had been a fan of his music. We also promoted Boys in the Hood, which is also one of the other groups that Jock was a part of at one time. So, sometimes, it happens like that. Just because an artist is part of the company doesn't mean necessarily you like them. So I was listening to this Vlad TV interview in this portion of it. And at the beginning of the video, people think that Prez and Jock, or Prez is trying to taunt Jock, if you want to say taunt him. And I'm like, you guys have no idea the history that these two men have. See, Sean Prez was there at Bad Boy Entertainment when Jock was an artist. In fact, the other man that he mentions, Harv, who he's talking about is Harv Pierre, who also knows me. I think the last time I saw Harv Pierre was at Daddy's House Recording Studio with Flames Flow and, ironically enough, Black Rob. And at that time, they were working on some cuts from Faith Evans' album, and they were just throwing around and jotting ideas or whatever. And that particular day, I was supposed to record, so we left out of the room. I got to speak to Black Rob. I got to speak to Harv, and I was sitting in the room with them for a little bit while they was compiling and jotting ideas. This is a fact. Now, people in the comment section are the problem, and that's what the point of my doing this video is about. The people in the comments section were like, this is unprofessional. I have never seen such da. They were giving all these guesstimations on how Jock was at one time worth $10 million, and then he had a fallout with his group and everything like that, or whatever the case may be. And none of these people, in no fact or fashion, knew why that had happened. And a lot of it did have to do with Puff, and I think the trajectory that Puff had for Young Jock as an artist. I don't think necessarily he meant it a bad trajectory, but I do think, and I will stick by this, I don't think that the plan worked. Let's say that. And so Young Jock subsequently, I won't say he went broke, but he dilapidated from that $10 million down to a little bit. Now, this is a man that was in Forbes magazine at one time. I want you to know that. And Young Jock, I will never take anything away from Young Jock. He's a great artist. He's monumental as far as the whole scene that goes down there in Atlanta. And whether I care for the man personally or not, upon me meeting him that one time, doesn't matter. I never get personal about stuff like that. But what I want to talk more about is not Young Jock and Prez in the interview, but I just want y'all to know, when y'all sitting there and y'all see that name Sean Prez, and you see him specifically, and you can't align things and see that he's interviewing an ex-Bad Boy artist, I want you to put this in contention. That man, Sean Prez, was an ex-marketing director at Bad Boy Entertainment. I don't know why he hides that and why he don't say that. Prez, if I did you wrong by saying this, I'm sorry, but I can't have it. I mention this stuff all the time where I talk about a lot of these people. See, YouTube opened up the doors for something. It opened up the doors, and a lot of social media opened up the doors for a lot of people that are unversed, unequipped to actually comment on certain issues and things like that, to get put in the mix and act like somehow they are scholars and expertise when it comes to contractual agreements and things like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about the music business real quick. Now, I don't know the specifics on Young Jock's particular contract or what went into it or whatever the case may be, and I'm going to segue this a little bit into Monique and the latest thing that's going on between her and Daryl Lynn. Hey, Daryl Lynn. Hey, girl, D.L. Hewley. A lot of these people were in there and they were giving all these speculations about how Jock went broke, how Jock lost some money, how Jock this happened to him, how this happened to Jock or whatever. And they have no prior knowledge, not only of Jock's prior contractual agreement or what the plan was moving forward for Young Jock, which is even equally as funny to me, but they were making all these guesstimations. One person said in the comments section, he said, you know, this is what happens when you deal with the Baphomet and da-da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. And I said, how? I just didn't understand it. I couldn't get the trajectory of where the person was saying or what he was actually trying to adhere to or what he was actually trying to say. So I responded to him. And I said these very words, and if you go to that Vlad TV interview, which you will see I shared in the community section, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. This young man attempted at that time to go back and forth with me in a banter, and since I just removed my comment and I just blocked him, because you don't do very good sometimes when you're sitting there and you're arguing with these guys because there's no reason to. A lot of these guys are uneducated. I keep trying to tell you, some of your favorite bloggers and some of your favorite people that jump online day to day, well, some of those people have not even graduated high school. You understand what I'm saying? Some of those people that have the most to say, especially when it comes about money, some of those people right now are laying up in their girlfriend's house, sleeping on her couch or whatever, or a baby daddy, they ain't got nowhere to stay at, or whatever the case may be. These are some amongst the people that are commenting and saying what they're saying, including money, talking about giving their opinion about contractual agreements, talking about giving their opinions about as far as it goes with the music industry and the history of the music industry. Well, I got one thing to say: you wasn't there. So how do you know? Have you ever even actually seen a contractual agreement? So what the ulterior motive was here with those people that were writing the comments and saying what they were saying on Vlad TV was this: to create catastrophe, to create problems, to create scenarios that only they agree with, only they'll get 115 people to agree with that have the same liking minds, and probably 9 times out of 10 didn't graduate high school themselves. Yes, you heard me correctly. A lot of the people that y'all are listening to on the comment section, on their own personal blogs, on their own personal uploads, many of these people have not graduated high school, let alone graduated any type, at the lowest, a community college. These same people that have never participated in the game, these same people that have never participated in the music industry, somehow or another are being influenced to somehow or another navigate the music industry. Now, I don't know how they do this. And like I said, if you haven't graduated high school, if you're someone that works a 9-to-5 blue-collar job, respect to you. But what you don't have the nerve to do is get in and give your solid opinion about something that you're unversed in. And I don't care how much pretending you're doing or whatever the case may be. And I want to say this too. There's a lot of unversed, and I hate to say it like this. Sometimes I kind of project it when it comes from Black and Latino guys, because I'm like, okay, they just trying to showboat, get their name out there, whatever the case may be. That's cool in the comment section. But when it comes to a lot of these white guys, they come in the comment section to say whatever they say or whatever the case may be. No shot at Vlad, because Vlad has actually been in the hip hop industry. When it comes to a lot of these guys, what I find many of times is this. Thank you. What I find many of times is this. I find that many of these guys, give me 1 second, guys. I got a bus in front of me. Give me 1 second. What I find is a lot of times these guys that sit there and talk the most of the white guys, they even fall more fail in comparison to the Black and Latin dudes is just sitting there trying to get clout and get somebody to clout chase them. And what I mean by that is, I saw a number of guys that came in there, and I went to their pages. That's the key to everything. You got to go to these guys' pages and see what they're really like in real life. Like outside the comment that they wrote in the comment section, outside the upload they might have thrown up 30 minutes ago or whatever, you've got to look at their prior history here on YouTube and look at the things that they put up and say to yourself, okay, this is not condensing, this is not in sequential order, and you're not making sense to me. A few of these guys made their navigation from Vlad TV and came over to my channel, which I didn't want them to do. That was not my intention. My intention was over there was to do this, to intervene and put out some facts about who you're talking about. And you're not talking to just some 15-year-old guy or some guy that's versed or whatever in the case may be and may not or may know about the music industry. I wanted to point that out. And the reason I say this is because of this. Sean Prez was that Bad Boy from the ascension of Bad Boy, okay? If not the ascension of it, I'll say the second tier over at 3rd Avenue. Later on, those same Bad Boy Entertainment officers that once housed Bad Boy Entertainment before Puff got the deal with Clive Davis, Prez set up his own workshop over there with Power Moves Makers. Shout out to him for doing that, which employed us in a moment where we wasn't working for Puff anymore. For a quick moment. The reason I say this is because you've got a lot of people out online that are blurting and talking and being mouthy about situations not only they wasn't around, moments they wasn't never around, people they don't know, but specifically the artists and their contractual agreements and their obligations. Most of you guys don't even know what PKA means when I mentioned it yesterday. Somebody wrote that in the comments and said, what you mean by PKA? I said, that means publicly known as. Then somebody asked me, what does POS mean? And I had to explain that to them. They're not even, if you're not even familiar with those terms as far as it comes to contractually, then you really don't have any business actually intervening and talking about discussions like this. This is what I would think. This is almost the same as if you equated it to someone that has never been a baker, but all of a sudden is talking about, hey, the best way you need to make brownies is like this. We have a lot of people that want to be seen online and all for the wrong reasons. And this is why I'm an advocate, and I'm going to keep pushing this, that I think that YouTube should start informing people that, listen, if you want to keep your account, then you need to pay $25 a month to keep your account. If you want to get online and talk about what you want to, because there's a lot of dummy accounts, and this is what I meant by when you sometimes go to these people's accounts, you'll see the truth about them. I've gone to people's accounts, like one I went to last night, there was a gentleman that said something to me. I have close to 10,000 followers. I had a gentleman come on that's been on YouTube for over 12 years, and in that 12 years, he has not amassed any more than 25 motherfucking followers. 25 followers in 12 years. And he has uploads there. His last upload was of 7 years ago, which even more disturbing, because usually when the videos sit for a long term of time, they usually garner more videos. That means that nobody came to see your material. So I effectively use the same method, and I implore you guys to use the same method. I'm trying to give y'all some game here. I used the same method when I went to look at all the people that were making comments on Vlad TV, and in effect with Sean Prez, and in effect with Jan Jock in their interview amongst each other. And when I looked at some of these people that were talking, I saw one thing that was condensing, that was in sequential order, which was this. Most of these people have been on YouTube for a very long time, and they fell in one or two categories. One, they had no uploads whatsoever, but yet and still they had a profile for about 5 or 6 years. Within that 5 or 6 years, they couldn't even figure out, or reluctant to put up a profile picture. But yet and still, they were the most opinionated person on the panel or in the chat room. The second thing I found was this. There was this other segment of people that had been on there, some of them 5 years at the minimum, some of them 7 years at a minimum, some of them 10 years at a minimum, some of them damn near since the assertion of YouTube itself, and had been on 12 years on YouTube and never amassed any more than 12 or 15 followers. And I said to myself, you the motherfucker having a comment about something? You the person that's got an opinion about something? You're the one telling people how they should do business and conduct business? How, Sway? Make me understand, make it make sense. And then I started to figure out something. These people that have been on YouTube for 12, 13, some cases 7, 5, 2 years, 3 years, however long, and had amassed any followers, it was a reason you hadn't amassed any followers, because nothing you said was privy to talking about shit and nobody cared. That's what it really boiled down to. It boiled down to people did not care what you were talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Or you didn't have the gumption and you didn't have the energy to keep or maintain an audience, which is another terrible thing. I also saw the space in between when they did uploads, so that means you wasn't consistent with doing your uploads. That's why I get on here and I can poke out my chest and say, well, after I've done 25 or 30 fucking uploads, I think I have the right to scream out my Cash App. I have the right to scream out my PayPal. I have the right to scream out my GoFundMe. And you will be surprised. I put up a poll in my community section. I talked about this earlier. I put up a poll in my community section and I said, what's the reason you haven't donated to me yet? And I gave a litany of answers or whatever, but the last one that you could choose to answer was, I don't intend on ever donating to you, and I wish you would go away from YouTube. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but that's pretty much what I said. And out of, I think it was 43 or 44 people that answered the actual poll. If you don't know what YouTube polls are, basically you can do it in the community section if you have enough followers. I have over 1,000 hours and 4,000 followers or whatever. So lately I can do it all. I think it's 1,000 followers and 4,000 hours of watch time, whatever the case it may be. But I fit the criteria. I've fit the criteria since last year. And I went to go look at, I said, you know what? I can't decipher who voted. I can't look in between to see who said whatever. But what I can do is I can grab at least a guesstimate. Which leads me to say this. And I'm going to make this quick because it just had to be said. And it's going to be one of the quickest lives I do probably. Or I might extend it another 10, 15 minutes. Because it's not really worth that much time. These people that are sitting up there and they're talking on YouTube, most of them nowadays are unsuccessful with YouTube, especially as myself, and especially as some of the bigger vloggers. I'm a mid-tier vlogger. I'm under 10,000, but I'm close to 10,000. Many of these people that are talking on YouTube or just talking in sense in America nowadays, online, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever, many of these people are not versed. Many of these people are not credited enough to even say anything about Young Jock or anybody else that's online nowadays. I had somebody actually have the audacity, actually have the livid audacity to say to me today, and this is what really got me going. Give me 1 second here. This is what really got me going. I've been advocating for people to sign a petition to offer clemency for one of our bad boy brothers, which is Chief Depp. He's been locked up for a while. And do you know I had somebody writing a comment, and thank you, YouTube, for retracting the comment, but I can see it in YouTube Studio irregardless. I want to say this. You have to be a despicable, nasty, belligerent, this carnivorous, this belligerent person to say, well, why should we advocate for him to get out of jail? What'd he do for black people? And blah, 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 and a hotep this and a hotep that or whatever. Okay. Let's say we take your contention and say what you said and take it to the premise of we're going to take you serious for 5 minutes, right? I want to ask you this. Whether it be Umar Johnson, and I hate to use his name, whether it be Tariq Nasheed, and whether it be many others, let me ask you this. How many of those guys have you ever heard contributing to some black program? How many of those people have you ever considered that have contributed monetarily to YouTubers such as myself or anybody else? No, they collected money from people, but they haven't given money to people. Now, the reason I say this is because he mentioned Umar Johnson in it. And I had another man when I went on O'Shea Duke Jackson, I think that's what his name is, page yesterday, and made a comment. And in that one, same thing happened. Somebody then at that point mentioned, I believe it was not Umar, but Tariq. And I said, this is hilarious as hell because you're mentioning these two people, but this is one man that has given a promise to people that he's going to open and erect a museum. And then you have another man that's given a promise for the past 10 years that he's going to erect a school and has done nothing such. And they don't question those people. They don't question those people. Their followers are innate. Most of them are dumb. Most of them have no type of college education. Most of them, like I said once again, have not even graduated high school. Yes, I said that. Many of them have not graduated high school. There's a lot of GED-less motherfuckers online. Now, one of the things that I'm advocating for, and I think it should be heard, and I'll say it again, and I think since YouTube won't make the proper predication to get rid of these motherfuckers, what we should do is try something else. And I guarantee you, like the Red Sea, these motherfuckers will depart. And what I think we should do is we should start charging people at least $25 a month to keep your YouTube account. I don't think the YouTube accounts being free any longer, especially after 12 years, should be allowed anymore. And this is why I'm saying this. The people that you have on YouTube nowadays are some of the most disgusting people that you ever meet in your life. They say some of the most disgusting things to people. They sit around and berate people. In some instances, they go around and harass people. They harass women. They harass men. Everybody's up for grabs. Now, I do my little trolling here and there myself or whatever, because I like to find out who's who, what they're saying, and what position they really fold under, because a lot of people will get online and pretend they're one person, and then offline they're somebody totally different. And what you'll also find is a lot of things that they predicate and a lot of things that they sit back and advocate are farces. They're not real. They're not honest. They're not truthful. They don't have the experience. A lot of them have never had the fucking experience, even in the smallest fraction. Yet these are some of the most vivid, talkative people that you have online. And the reason right now I'm using Vlad TV and some of its followers, not all of its followers, but the reason I'm using Vlad TV and the reason I'm using Umar Johnson, and the reason I'm using Tariq Nasheed and many others that follow in contention with these guys is these guys are doing absolutely fucking nothing. You sitting around talking about the history of the Hemoteps and all that shit or whatever is equating out to nothing. It does nothing and it serves no purpose here in 2022 for these kids that are coming up. What you need to teach these kids is something totally different. And I'm very mad that some of these older people out here are not doing that. Other thing I'm mad about is a lot of you guys that are artists and the guys that have had the notion, guys that have been through the business or whatever, you're not speaking up for yourself. And therefore, in a hindsight, some of you might be forgotten in the long run. Some of you might be forgotten in the long run. Some of you may not be able to recoup, if you want to say, or reclaim your positions as far as where you should be respected at. Sean Prez, who did that interview with Young Jock today, is a respected man in the industry. Sean Prez, believe it or not, can cut your lights off. Now ask DJ Khaled, ask Snoop Dogg, ask many of the other people that have worked with Sean Prez, my ex-boss, and they're going to tell you the same. You understand? And if you move up the chain of the ladder and go to Puff and go to him, Paul Pierre, and all these other people who are also mentioned in that Vlad TV interview, you're going to find the same conclusion there as well. You guys are talking your way into fucking the biggest dummies that I've ever seen in my life. And a lot of y'all, the reason I mention those two guys is because y'all following, not Prez and Puff and Harpier, but I'm talking about the two latter, Umar and other people and their followers, is because you are following the blind. Umar Johnson can't save y'all. Umar Johnson, in my opinion, is not a scholar. He's a con artist. A lowbrow con artist at that. Umpantunde. King Kong consciousness, all these little additives and suggestions or whatever the case may be. And I say to you, point to me to somebody he's given at least $1,000 philanthropy to. And you will find little if none, if not outside his own family or his own social circle. Now with Young Jock, I can say something different. Young Jock has helped people. Sean Prez has helped people. Sean Prez helped me when I was at my lowest. When I was homeless in the street, Sean Prez said, meet me at the bank tomorrow. I got you. Sean Prez invited me into his Power Move Maker series so I could sit down there with the likes of huge people. And I want to also throw one other person in there. Jesus Christ, and I'll remember his name in a minute, but he was also another person that helped me or whatever. These were people that were priorly in the industry and stuck out their hand and helped. These are very different people than the people that I get on here sometimes and complain about, and I sometimes raise the contention and I say to people, you know what? Everybody knows I was in the music industry for a very long time, yet and still none of these people have ever reached out and asked me if I needed a job, if I could do some editing work for them or anything else or whatever. You understand? Now, the same way that you guys want to come on here now and join the accolades of YouTube, you have a responsibility, and that responsibility is to be honest. Some of you are fucking multi-millionaires and don't do a goddamn thing for these kids, don't do a goddamn thing for artists that are falling or whatever the case may be. Young Jock shouldn't be going through financial strain with all the contributions that he's given. And I'm not saying he's in a bad place, but let's say he doesn't have $10 million anymore. He's let that be known. There's a lot of other rappers that you could say that fell off or whatever. And instead of sympathizing or being empathetic or being like, yo, what can I do to help? Can I buy you a single? Maybe that can contribute to some of the funds you may need to get back to where you're at or whatever the case may be. They don't do that. Instead, they side with the same position that you see a lot of people in the vast majority of upper echelon media do, which is this. And I hate to say this like this, and even as I'm sitting right here right now, I've had the majority of my city here is majority white, okay? It's always been that. On this particular section of town, everybody that's rolled past me that was either black or Latino, they have some snivering comment or some gesture or whatever the case may be. And I'm gonna tell you what that means. What that means is this. Niggas have always been in a rat race to always be on top of one another. You understand what I'm saying? And when you get it, and a lot of people want to admit Latinos from that, but it goes the same with Latinos. I know this personally. A lot of Latinos will sit around and they get a nice little car or something like that, but even though they're pulling up into a fucking hovel where they live at, a shitstorm of where they live at, and they will act like they're better than the next Latino that's coming over here from Mexico, from Peru, or whatever the case may be, just because they've been here 20 or 30 years. The same thing holds court when you see these same people online. They think that there's somebody else other than who they actually are. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm here to tell you, you're not. You're a normal motherfucker that's unaccomplished, unversed, and how dare you sit here and talk about professions that people have been in for years. People have given their blood, sweat, and tears to. People have slept in vans while they're waiting to go on the next job the next day. Or people have slept on the road. Or people have gotten no sleep. Or people have been overnight in the studio for 2 or 3 nights and they find that floor in the studio, that's their bed for the night. These are people that have put in work like Young Jock and many others. And now when you motherfuckers in the past 5 to 10, I'm gonna say 5 years, have had the ease, based on your birth rate, basically anything, your birthday, you've had the ease to be able to get up online, upload something and made the job 10 times easier than it was 12, 13 years ago. You motherfuckers are frauds. The other problem I have is when you get people like DJ Academics and others that are like him in his accolade that want to invite these motherfuckers in, these violent motherfuckers. Y'all hit that like button for me. Do that. You ain't got to donate, but hit the fucking like button. Talk my shit real quick. Because I'm tired of these motherfuckers, and I'm trying to tell you, that is a segue right there. Charge $25 a month for YouTube and you will watch the riff rap disappear. And I hope, Leor, you see this. I hope, Tuma, you see this. I sent you one. I'm going to send you 2 more, whatever. I know y'all hard to get in touch with. I might even try to get in touch with one of y'all to further this notion. We need to start charging motherfuckers on YouTube to be on here. If you can get on YouTube and you can give your and voice your opinion and you're doing it from free, hidden with a free account, hidden with no avatar, hidden with no inclination of what your job pass may be, which in many of these people you find the job pass happens to be fucking McDonald's or Wendy's or custodian or you work construction, then how the fuck do you know about musical contracts? Who the fuck are you? How are you enabled to say anything about the music industry? And this is what I'm saying about Umar, and this is what I'm saying about Tariq Nasheed as well. Tariq and Umar, neither one of you have ever been in the music industry. You got friends that have been in the music industry. You think they're your friends. They're never going to tell you the intimate details. And even furthermore, I'll even go further. You wasn't there when any of this shit transpired. You wasn't there when any of this shit transpired. I said earlier today when I was talking, I said very clearly, when G-Dep first broke I remember this was after the shooting that happened in Club New York with Puff, Shine, and Jennifer Lopez. I was around in the building. I was around in the office when all this transpired. I worked there. I got the pictures to prove it. I got the video to prove it. I was luckily smart enough to be one of the very few. And you can ask any of the guys that work with me. What up, Chrome? Everybody else, Uptown. You can ask any of them guys that work with me, and they will tell you, to this day, they would come to me and be like, yo, Pro, where the pictures at? Because I was the only one taking pictures. I would go to Dwayne Reed, or I would go to, I forgot, Rite Aid, or one of those two, and I would get these small little disposable cameras, right? And everybody thought I was crazy because I would tote it along with me or whatever. And I would take picture after picture after picture after picture after picture after picture. Because one, I did it as proof, because a lot of people at that time didn't believe I was working at Bad Boy, because I was known as a bad boy previously. You know what I mean? I used to do a whole bunch of things. You're talking to a two-time felon here. I hide it from no one. Before I was in the music industry, I had been arrested 2 times. One time I got caught with damn near half a pie of cocaine hardened, and powder. And then the second time I got caught with a whole bunch of fucking weed. You understand what I'm saying? Both respectively, I did my time and I came home. Bad Boy Entertainment actually saved my life, and I'll be honest with that, and I have no contention and hold no grasp to that. But these guys, once again, like I said, and I'll say it again, did not put in the work, even on the streets, as well as in the fucking industry. You got nerds, people that are fucking cowards, that are getting online talking the most shit about and giving their opinion about what we did, the work we put in, the blood, sweat, and tears we did, sleeping on the road, sleeping in hot-ass airplanes and all kinds of other shit. And you guys are hopping online like you were always there. And I'll say once again, you were not there. So how, and some of you weren't even old enough to be there. Some of these guys are 16, 17, 19 years old. The person that ushered in all these numbskull motherfuckers that somehow or another think they're going to change the whole game and change the people that are in the music industry, and somehow or another they are now the stepholds of the music industry, are people that are not even successful. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't take any energy to walk around and pretend that you're something that you're not. Most of these fucking bozos that walk around and pretend like there's something that they're not, I can call them out from a mile away. All right? I said once again, as I'm sitting here, I noticed one thing in particular, and I think this is condensing in Black and Latino culture specifically, because Blacks and Latinos, for some reason, specifically the men, they like to outdo each other. They won't challenge whites. They want to challenge each other. They want to poke out their chests at other Black people and other Spanish people. Now, as I've been sitting here, and I feel like, how you doing? I feel like and that's a perfect example right there. This white man just rolled past me and nodded his head at me. As I'm sitting right here, I'm sitting in front of traffic. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Y'all see right there? So I'm sitting in front of traffic, and every time I look up, I see some motherfucker that's riding past in some used vehicle, every 3 and 5 anyway, riding past in some used vehicle from 2004, 2005, and they've got some snark-ass gesture, they've got some looking at they're better than everybody or whatever. This attributes to the same motherfuckers you see online. They either these motherfuckers are raising these kids, these motherfuckers are some contention, they're actually the same people that are encouraging these kids to do this and their behavior. You have a lot of kids from the last generation that were raised by shitty ass teen parents or their aunties or whatever the case may be. I went to school with a lot of these 13, 14, and 15-year-old parents, and I can stand the contestment to these. You motherfuckers weren't shit. And now when you get to 30 years old and now your kid is exemplifying that same behavior and they ain't shit, and now you're 30, 32, 34-year-old ass as a grandmother or a grandfather, those same little shitty ass fucking newfound parents, and now you're a grandma, are the same people that are on YouTube now talking the most shit. So my antidote for all that, especially for a lot of people that come on YouTube on here and talk so much shit based on the fact that they feel like they're privileged, that they feel like they're somehow or another should be admonished for their little creeps of fucking, I don't know what they call it, intelligence. I don't even call it intelligence. I call it lost and delusional myself. All this, and if you accompany it upon even the women that get on here nowadays, and some of the most heinous ones, if you look at upon how they do and how they treat, green light, yo! Don't look at me like I'm stupid, you stupid. This sister sitting there bending her head and ain't even paying attention to fucking traffic. My point I'm getting at is this, right? And I'm going to end this. We need to start doing something about not only the trolls that are on YouTube, these unversed motherfuckers that are on YouTube, but even outside of YouTube. Some of y'all need to start speaking up and saying these couple of words. How the fuck do you know? And there's nothing wrong with saying that. How the fuck do you know? If you've never made over, and I said this before, if you've never made over $50,000 at the minimum in your life, then how the fuck are you better than anyone? And including myself. So it's like it's almost this stupid notion, and I hate to say it, and it's going to come on in tradition, where you have dumbass motherfuckers raising dumbass motherfuckers, and dumbass motherfuckers giving birth to more dumbass motherfuckers. You always find in many societies, the poorest of the nations or the poorest of the population, they always end up having the most children. And people that are more versed and more intelligent usually wait along until they're more established in life to start having their kids. Now, this doesn't hold true to everybody, but in most cases, internationally, this is one of the things that holds court. Now, if you need an example of that, I encourage you to go to any third world country right now and look at their population and look at the demographics as far as children are concerned. And what you'll find in most of these poor countries, you always find a litany of children. People that are in sheer debt poverty even before they had the children will still be in poverty and make the decision to have children. All right? Now, I've never been one particularly say that has been uprooted in poverty or whatever the case may be, and I don't knock anybody that's made mistakes and you accidentally got pregnant when you were 13, 14, or 15 years old. I don't knock you for that. But I'm talking about these kids and these people, many of them I went to school with that were 13, in some cases 12, 13, 14, 15 years old that had children. These are the motherfuckers that are a vast majority that are online right now. You can't make that connection, that maybe you're not as smart as you think you are. And they're being influenced not only by people like Dr. Umar Johnson, not only by people like Tariq Nasheed, and a litany of other different shitty ass fucking YouTubers that are on here that are giving their opinions and substituting their opinions as fucking facts. Umar Johnson, not even, you've been trying to get $1 million for your school, and these people helped you get that $1 million. That's why I said it shouldn't be a problem for me to raise for me to raise 2,000, which I'm doing actively right now. So make sure you hit $STRINGERBELL80 and support the channel. I don't need motherfuckers here. I'm not like Umar and all those. I don't need blind followers to follow me. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need kids to follow me. And I definitely don't need ungrateful motherfuckers and the information I'm giving out to follow me either. So make sure you show some support and hit that cash app. Big cousin David need a air conditioner in the crib. Now, I guess more reluctantly, I'm going to say this. These niggas that you have, because that's what they are, niggas. They're niggas that pretend they're actually somebody other than what they are. But when you break them down, what you'll usually find is this. You'll find someone that's uneducated. You'll find someone that works a blue-collar job. They have a history of working blue-collar jobs. That's no offense. And they have no formal education whatsoever. I always attack the argument like that, and I always say that, whether I'm on YouTube or off YouTube. The first thing I'll always ask people most of the time is, where did you go to college at? And what you'll find many of times is they won't have an answer for you, or they'll have some short, snarky reply that means basically nothing. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You guys are listening and following the advice of people that have never been in the music industry, never worked beside us. And I know many of y'all, listen, I haven't been out the music industry no longer than, 4 years, something like that. So I know when I know the people, I know the connections, even the new guys I know, because I've been meeting a lot of you new guys, especially I've been coming to my page with all these damn followers I have. I'm tired of seeing these people online that have an opinion about everything or point to you and give their opinion and verse it as being truth when it isn't. You did not work with us. You wasn't around us. And this includes Umar Johnson. This includes Tariq Nasheed too, who I don't like. I don't like you. I think you're a liar. I think you're a con artist. I think you duped these people for a second time, just like Umar Johnson did. And you took all that money from those people and you told them, hey, I'm going to open up a museum. And yet still to this day, there's no museum open. And people are starting to ask questions. Well, where's the museum? Umar Johnson, for the past 10 years, you've been opening up a school. When there's another man that was on Roland Martin's show that did the same thing you said you were supposed to be doing for the past 10 years. And he did it within a year down in North Carolina. If you guys don't get what I'm saying, a lot of these people that you're contributing and giving your donations to, they're not worth it. This is why one of the reasons every time that I take donations, I always make sure that I show people what I do with my donation money. Today, when I did my live from earlier today, my lighting setup that's all in my house, that was provided by TMH. You understand what I'm saying? A couple of things, other things that I have, like dollies and things like that, that I take on when I'm on the road and I'm moving, and I'm able to go to front of Trump Tower. I'm able to go to this location and that location to film for y'all and give my opinions and say what I have to say or whatever. Those were all provided by people that donated. You understand? People that donated, people that contributed to the cause, and I thank every last one of y'all. And I still thank y'all to this day, and I hope that y'all will continue to contribute, especially today. And if you want to, all the links are in the description box. Just click the description box, it'll all be there, and after this live is over, you'll also be able to find it there. But you guys have got to start making some decisions, and as much as y'all profess to be so intelligent as you are, you got to start exactifying that intelligence in public. And what I mean by that is this. Stop not only donating, but stop taking verbatim and liking comments that this sounds snarky and cool and cute or whatever, and start testing these motherfuckers and asking them this question right here. How do you know? Ask them, have you ever worked in the music industry? Ask them, do you have any history of ever working on a project from any music artist whatsoever? And if the answer is no, you should automatically not even only block those motherfuckers. You should start looking for other people that are just like them on YouTube. YouTube is compiled nowadays, and Twitter the same way, with people that are either ultimate trolls that want to throw on viruses on your page, talk the most shit, poke their chest out on minimal accomplishments that they had, which equal up to nothing most of the time. They like to brag and boast about things that they have when you really look at them in the nut sun of everything. You're driving a 2004 used car and you're pulling up into the projects and you're the shit for your neighborhood. But if you came in a circle of us, not even, 4 or 5 years ago, even up to this day with the people I still know within the music business and in the entertainment industry, you will see that the reality of who you actually are will come out. If I question you and I ask you what college you went to and you can't equate and you never went to a college, reality comes out. If I question you and I ask you, have you ever drove in a model car that is the same year as what it is that you purchased it? And if your answer is no, if I ask you, hey, have you ever been on tour with an artist or been on stage with an artist while they're performing or went to multiple cities with an artist, and your answer is no, then what the fuck is your opinion matter but shit? What is fuck does your, and why are more people listening to these people than actually listening to me and many others that are just like me that are telling you the exact same truth? I'm not the only guy that was actually in the music business and sitting here telling you guys the truth. There's a couple of us that are trying to tell you the truth. And instead of listening to us, instead of supporting us, you go over and support the other motherfuckers because it sounds good. Because it sounds like an old Negro spiritual. It sounds like Sunday afternoon at your church in Pembroke, Nebraska, or such and such Alabama. There's a lot of faking and frauding that goes out here, and this whole normalcy of trying to break normal, otherwise nobody motherfuckers and trying to make them feel special. I'm not buying. I never was with the fact of trying to normalize normally unregular motherfuckers that really don't have any type of accolades or any type of accomplishments, at least not into the degree or decorum that I do. And the reason I mentioned all those things was because of that reason. I've never met one of these motherfuckers that ever stood up to the test of those questions that I asked. Have you ever drove a car that was the same model as the year it was currently? Have you ever had a college degree? And no, what they'll usually point to and boast their chest out is, well, I work this minimum wage job and I make $20 an hour. No, motherfucker, you're impressing the motherfuckers that you circulate around daily. You're impressing the people that you're around daily. You're impressing your social circle. And I'm not afraid to say that. And as many of y'all see me on camera say so many times, and they always get numb and quiet when I ask that shit. See, I have the resume. My resume is out there right now. Always. My resume is here on YouTube. Always. I've had enough people in the music industry validate me of who I am. I've had enough people to come in my comment section. More people than shared me. I don't need that. I don't have to put on a faux fucking fake agenda. Because who you really are inside will always show. So all this pretending shit that let's just say this. There's a whole bunch of fucking frauds out here that feel special because we have all these body positivity movements, making retarded motherfuckers feel special other than what they are. People that are unaccomplished, we want to make them feel special, all because of the pure simple fact these motherfuckers are not special. They're not special. And there's nothing wrong with telling them they're not special. It's nothing wrong with telling somebody, hey, you're fat and you might need to lose weight, because if you don't lose weight, it might be degradatory to your fucking health. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody, hey, you're not as intelligent as you think you are. You're slick, but you're not intelligent. You're cunning, but you're not intelligent. And you need to start telling more people on YouTube that. It's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with telling somebody, hey, look, you didn't go to college, so why are you sitting up here and acting like you're an intellectual? You're not. You're someone that's skimmish. You may be slick, but you're not intelligent. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with telling a woman that's ugly or a man that's ugly, hey, you're ugly. And in comparison to other people that are beautiful, you wouldn't fit the fold. No, instead what we do is we sit back and we support people like this monetarily. We feel some type of almost ordainment for them and feel sorry for them, and we support these people. And this is where America, this is where the industry, and this is where even internationally things are fucked up. You understand what I'm saying? We live in a world now where we have women that and men, not even 5 years ago, if they would have been in a social circle at a club, anyway, especially in Miami or anywhere other than that, if we would have been there, and I'm talking about especially, y'all know what I'm talking about, Dream, Compound in Atlanta, fucking out in LA, whatever, I've been through all of them. I put up pictures for them, go to the community section, they all there. And also, there's enough video here. If the only thing you gotta do is just scroll down, hit my video, scroll down, you'll see all the videos of me recording at Daddy's House Studio, Shine Money XL being in my studio sessions, everybody else banging their head to my music or whatever the case may be. The reason I'm really saying all this is not one because I'm releasing new music or trying to come back up or whatever the case may be or whatever. And believe you me, I will be in that millionaire structure and paradigm again. The reason I'm saying this is because we have a lot of unworthy, unversed, unaccomplished motherfuckers that are here on YouTube and across social media giving their opinion day to day to day. And I gotta ask you, and I want you to raise a question as well, who the fuck are you? And what you'll find is silence. Silence. These unaccomplished motherfuckers that sit around on YouTube and sit around on Instagram or whatever, and these platforms and these vehicles have made these people feel special. They're not special. And they're playing on your empathy daily to make them feel special. I saw a woman just the other day on Instagram, and this woman had to weigh at least 400 fucking pounds. And I saw all these men within the comment section, oh, you're beautiful, you're audacious, blah, blah, blah. I could see if this woman had some type of medical issue or whatever. She had headline, fat and proud. I said, well, if you're fat and proud, it shouldn't be no problem if people come into your comment section and say, hey, listen, you look fucking disgusting. You look disgusting. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. If you can spend an hour, I got two sisters. If you can spend an hour and a half sitting there putting makeup on, putting rouge on, dollying yourself up, doing all these different things, then your fat ass can sit around and spend that same hour doing some type of exercising, trying to research dieting, doing something or another. But instead, people will encourage these people to stay the fucking way they are, which is most of the time shitty, benign people. And based on that encouragement that they get from online, they bring this into society sociologically, psychologically, and they now think that assessment now goes into fucking public view too. And what they find is they get surprised many of the times because that's not how people view it. That's not how people view it. I can look at you. I can see you. You're fucking fat. You're out of shape. You're ugly. You're out of shape. You're fucking a shitty person. And you pretend to be a good person online. There's nothing wrong with calling these people out. And I wish that more of y'all on YouTube, instead of supporting these people, instead of berating these people, instead of encouraging these people, would start telling them who the fuck they actually are. And it's almost like regular people, normal people in the normal world are scared to do so. And I just don't understand why. It's like the world has did a whole total 180. The underdogs are now the champs, and the champs are now the underdogs. And I'm not going for it. And I think I've got well enough followers or whatever. Y'all see my follower count. Y'all see the views I get. I get in the tens of thousands of views. So I don't have to sit here and contemplate. And I've got tens of thousands of followers here. So I don't have to sit here and you know what I mean? bullshit to get followers. I have followers. I have already established platform, which I say once again, many of the people that come here, and it's not all of them, there's a few people that come in and leave comments or whatever, like when the upload I did about Monique, and I was talking about her contractual agreement with DL Hewley, and there's another one uploaded too, in the rebuttal that DL Hewley had that you guys can find right down below. Just hit my videos and it'll be right there. Salute to you too, K. Cole. And guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. That's $STRINGERBELL 80 stringer bell 80. The link is in the description box. If you don't have Cash App, make sure you hit the PayPal. The GoFundMe is there. I think we're gonna do 2,000 this week. That's what I'm aiming for, and I need all y'all support to make that happen. So whether it's $10, $20, $50, $100, I had a contributor the other day. TMA donated significantly. I want to thank you once again, sir, because you always come through. But we got to start raising the veil and raising our eyebrow and start taking these regular motherfuckers that are out here that are pretending there's something more than what they are, and in fact sometimes trying to attack people that actually fit the format based on their insecurities, based on their fucking, silo fucking moves or whatever the case may be, and start checking these motherfuckers. And I see it's all many of y'all in here and y'all hitting that like button, y'all seemingly agree with me. How come other YouTubers don't say this? Fresh and Fit, they say it. A few other people, Donovan Sharp, he says it. A couple other people here on YouTube, I give them their notion. They say what they say. But I have no chance because I come from a world where it wasn't like that. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying the world's going to revert back to what it was yesterday. But what I'm saying is we need to start a new movement. Now, I'm not saying that we need to go in and actively crush these people or whatever the case may be. But these same people that verse their opinions and talk down upon stars, people like myself, such as myself and others, shout out to Chrome and everybody else who used to work with me. V. Burnett was popping. All those people that put in the time and the energy working in the industry. I used to go back and forth from here in Connecticut. Back and forth to New York to work at 1540 Broadway on a weekly and almost daily basis. It's like, you're telling me I'm supposed to take the word of a motherfucker who currently works at Wendy's or McDonald's as verbatim, and they get up and pretend that there's somebody else or whatever. Let me tell y'all something. I do photography. Y'all seen some of the photography I put up. You know how easy it is to frame a picture or frame a video to make it look like something that it isn't? And that's what I see from these low-life motherfuckers that get up on here in the otherwise normal world are ugly motherfuckers, weirdo motherfuckers, dummies, idiots that try to project to people that they're actually smart and intelligent. These people are not smart and intelligent. These are people that you have empathy for and you have sympathy for because they look the way they look, they are the way they are, whatever the case may be. And I'm trying to tell you plain simply, excuse my French, fuck them. Because that's the attitude they have towards you. These people that are lowly looking than you, less accomplished than you, or whatever the case may be, and this is not everybody, of course, but many of these people, what I find is they find a daily diatribe of attacking people that are in a better decorum, in a better situation than they are, and they try to take them down as if it's sport. We saw this with Johnny Depp initially, when he was going against Amber Heard. Oh, fuck Johnny Depp, da-da-da. Now we come to find out Amber Heard and her shitty ass was lying the whole time. She even went as far as to make up stories to make this man appear that he was guilty than what he actually is. So do you understand what I'm talking about? This whole sympathy ethic of going for the underdog, and the underdog is champ. I'm not feeling that shit no more. And moving from 2022 into 2023, I think it needs to be held apparent that these people are suckers. They're suckers. Because in a normal world, if you can't get people to pay attention to you, then boasting out and being bravado and all that shit ain't gonna make people pay attention to you either. And if they do pay attention to you, it's gonna be this short of time. Because let me tell you, when I first started here, let me tell you all you guys, when I first started up a year ago here on YouTube or whatever, I was one of the quickest people that gained so much of a following so quickly. And I've had numerous people say that. And a lot of it was based off of my story. My story was actually real. My story was documented over prior years or whatever the case may be. My story was definitely influential to a lot of people. It led a lot of people to get certain questions answered or whatever. And so I always get on here and help. And what I always found was time after time after time after time, you would have some troll or you would have somebody come into the comment section and they would try to counter or give some type of other opinion. No, I'm not interested. They would try to give some type of the shit I was just talking about just a minute ago. I just had some of that happen. You would have people that would come on and they would troll or say whatever they want to say, and then you would go to their page, and what I would find out is, hold up, you've been on YouTube for 12 years and you only got 25 followers? I've been on here for 2 months and I'm at 3,000 at the time. Then it went up to what, 5,000. Then it went up to 7 grand. Then it's slowly peeping up now to 10 grand. So we're doing our thing here. You know what I mean? And another thing is, none of these people are even making any money to do what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. I'm about my dollar. So if you hear right now, once again, Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. Also, if you don't have Cash App, make sure you hit up the PayPal link or the GoFundMe link. We're going for 2 grand this week. I think we can do it. All the supporters and all the people that come here and leave comments, leave your products and everything else, start supporting the channel. Hit that up right now. If you donate right now, I'm going to shout you out in this podcast. Trust me. And this one right here is going a couple of places. So make sure you donate. I don't do the super chats, like I said once again, because Google takes 30% of everything you donate. Matter of fact, to put it into sense, the other day, somebody donated $100. Out of that $100, I wouldn't have seen nothing based on the rules and the transactions between Google. 30% of that money, which would have been $82 to $83. So don't put as a preference for donating towards the super chats. I don't do the super chats. I'm only PayPal, GoFundMe, and freaking Stringer Bell, $STRINGERBELL80. Make sure y'all hit that up right now. I'm gonna stay with y'all for 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes maybe, because we really got to break this whole thing down, man, because this shit is getting monotonous. We got people that have never been in the industry, these are people that work fast food. I had a homie that came on and said something to me at the time, and I looked at his page and he had a video up of him and his friends goofing around at work at McDonald's, and I'm like, how, Sway? And you've been on here for, at the time, I think he had been on YouTube for like 4 years and had never amassed no more than 20 followers. That means nobody's fucking with you. Nobody cares what you have to say. And these nobodies that are all across social media, no matter what the vehicle is, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, most of them are no fucking bodies, and they're trying to prove to you that there's somebody, whether they're fat, whether they're ugly, whether they're novice, whatever the fuck the case may be. And I think it's fine time that people start speaking up and saying, you know what? You're not attractive. No matter what you think in your mind, no matter what your people around, it's like, like the Apollo Theater, right? Y'all know the Apollo? A lot of people go on the Apollo. Y'all give me a second. Y'all know, if you know me, I'm a New England tri-state boy. I smoke cigarettes on camera and I curse. If this is your first time here, I'm sorry if you don't agree with that. Maybe somewhere else is for you to go. Let me tell you something, man. You see people online nowadays, tons of them. They come online and their specific agenda is to start havoc and wreak havoc. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm just lighting a cigarette. Just give me 1 second, because I know the sound is going to be a little muffled because I got this between my legs. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. And everybody, right now, while you got a break, make sure you go hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL motherfucking 80. Hit that shit up right now. Show your love, show your support. We're going for 2 grand this week. We're going to do it. We're already a third of the way there as it goes. Not interested. We're already a third of the way as it goes. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We've got women and men that are walking upon us and past us and in society and pretending that there's something special because social media told them so. But what does real life tell you? Real life tells you the same thing that everybody in your home tells you. You're no fucking body. You're pretending like you're somebody. And these fucking actor and actress roles, that's why I always speak normal. That's why I always curse on here. That's why I smoke cigarettes and all that shit or whatever. And you know who I got that from? I got that from 2 different podcasters. And the reason I do that, not because, one, I'm an old shoreline boy here in Connecticut, so I really don't give a fuck. But even more particularly, and I carried the same, ask anybody that worked with me up at Bad Boy Entertainment, they're going to tell you the same thing. I carried the same attitude. I used to curse, ripple. If I didn't like something, I'd tell you whatever. And ultimately, I found out, even with the friendships that I still maintained after all these years, everybody respects me for that, because I didn't brown those people. I didn't kiss people's asses. I didn't change the octave in my voice to fit the scenario I was around. Most white people, I'm going to be honest with you, black and Latin people, most of the time when y'all are around white people and you switch up your fucking octave in your voice, or you switch up who you are, whatever the case may be, most of those white people, after you've left, and I know this personally, most of those white people, they laugh at your fucking ass. They're like, look, I can bet you I can make them tap dance too. And if you don't believe me, you know how many parties and places I've been at and people will talk shit, white cats will talk shit about Latinos or call them immigrants or whatever the fuck case may be. And in many cases, I've defended them. Same thing goes when you're Latino and there ain't no blacks around and you're with somebody white. They'll do the same thing with them. I've seen it done a million fucking times when I was unbeknownst to it. Sometimes when I was beknownst to it. They all have been doing that. K. Colgate a strong arm already. Y'all know what I'm telling is the truth. You haven't been in the same accolade, so how are you sitting there giving your opinion about shit? Like, it's real monotonous, man. That's the best way I could use. Where social media has taken people mentally. If you add in the pandemic and all the shit that happened in the pandemic, it's even more worse. So, a lot of people during the pandemic, they opted to go to social media because they had no other outlets to go, especially a lot of your famous stars. A lot of your famous stars, they took it upon themselves to come to social media because they wasn't touring anymore. Wasn't any clubs open. And then they made themselves open targets for a lot of these YouTubers that don't have any material whatsoever to put out. Most of the material that you'll see from YouTubers, Instagrammers, Facebookers, Twitters, most of the information you'll see put up about them is nothing but regurgitating old stories or regurgitating stories that you already know and you've heard from 6 or 7 different bloggers, but they won't actually turn around and add something to the story. What I did was this whole Monique, and I'll give you a perfect example I'll use myself. And if y'all watch in sequential order in the older 2,000 plus videos I got uploaded, one of the things you see is I never go in hindsight unless it's just breaking. I never go into hindsight of just reverting the story and telling the same story again. No, I go and investigate the story and I put in the work. Like today, yesterday, I showed you guys the contractual agreements and the discrepancies that were going along with Monique and D.L. Hewley, where Monique's discrepancy is saying, hey, I was supposed to perform at 3 o'clock. I was supposed to be over, my set was supposed to be over at 3:30. And then D.L. Hewley was supposed to come up at 3:30. And then he was supposed to be over at 4 o'clock. I did another one today where he countered that. So what I'm saying is these guys are not even doing anything and you guys are donating to these motherfuckers and encouraging them to be the same shitty people they already are. These are shitty people. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with saying it. The next time you at your job, let me tell you something, right? The next time you at your job, next time you're around somebody and you see the chuck in them, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at that person and be like, you know what? In real life, you're a piece of shit. Didn't you hear Mike Tyson when he did that interview one time? He said, you know what? You act like you're a nice person, but in reality, you're really a piece of shit. Sometimes you have to do that, and you have to put that contention on and say that to people for them actually to realize this one thing. That if you don't do that, what you're doing is you're encouraging shitty-ass people to continue having shitty-ass fucking behavior. And I'm tired of it. This is where you're getting a lot of these mass shooters from, too. If you don't notice this, a lot of these people that do these atrocities and shoot up these schools and I'm going to get into the latter part of that. I think I'm going to go a few more minutes because, one, I want to see, let me take a look and see who donated first. Let me see if anybody donated because I don't want to leave nobody out. All right, ain't nobody donated yet. We need y'all on the donation panel right now. $STRINGERBELL80. Yes, I am about my money. Yes, I do edits, I do work, I put in work, I want to be compensated for my work. I am not monetized by Google right now, so don't get me confused, all right? A lot of people that are online right now, you can do so. The links are in the description box. If you don't have Cash App, make sure you hit up the PayPal. Make sure you hit up the motherfucking, what's the name, the GoFundMe, man. Contribute. Y'all contribute to all these people that do nothing for you but get on here and tree stump preach, but you won't contribute to anybody that gets on here and spits that real shit. And I think that's what's needed and what's been missing from me on YouTube. A lot of these people that have come on to YouTube and these social media platforms, and these girls especially, that come out. They had a girl the other day. I want to say this before I say what I was getting ready to say. They had a girl the other day. I don't know if y'all saw it or not. There was a girl online, and this is what I mean by encouraging shitty behavior. There was a girl online that took a passage out of the Bible. I'm talking about an actual sheet out of the Bible and rolled a joint. And that passage was containing the information and saying that passage about how a woman should be somehow submitted to her man. And this woman in protest because she knew she could go on social media and do so and protest. This woman went on there and she rolled a joint with the Bible paper and made sure she pointed out what she was doing. I said, what a piece of shit this bitch is. And then when you look under the comment section, what you saw from this sacrilegious fucking piece of shit bitch was people encouraging her to do another video. The video is right now still on Twitter. I'm not putting that shit up on my page. I don't encourage shit like that. But it just goes to show you the type of people that are online nowadays, that literally most of them, in my opinion, a great amounts of them, in my opinion, are mentally unstable, feel like they have free reign, shitty ass people that don't know apparently how to mind their own business. As I went down to look and see if anybody had donated to the Cash App, I got distracted for a minute because I seen that 3 or 4 people on that same Vlad TV interview have responded back to me. What you gonna tell me? I know better than you. I know how, cause I just know. Matter of factly, huh? Bullshit ass niggas is on here on YouTube. Bullshit ass niggas is on Twitter. Bullshit ass niggas is on Instagram. This ain't a rant. This is real. This is real. Who are y'all following? And why are y'all following motherfuckers so much? Is this follower nation now? That's what I think it is. It's a follower nation. Everybody wants to follow somebody. I follow motherfuckers too, so I'm just as guilty as they are. I got my favorites, but I don't take what they say as verbatim and say this is as if and this is how life is. Especially when you're unversed, you're unaccomplished, and you've never dealt in the field itself, period. That's fucking monarchy. Guys, I say this, because I'm not going to waste my time sitting here too long. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not compensated as I should be. And I got to start saying something and speaking up for myself. And I thank my partner from the music industry the other day that said, yo, dog, how you got all them followers on there and ain't none of them motherfuckers donating to anybody else? And then he took the words off my lip, but he said, I bet you they over at somebody else's page donating to them, and the only thing they doing is sitting around sounding like a tree stump preacher, telling you, well, this is how I think it is, and Lord, 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 Lord. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. They go into that little octave in their voice trying to sound like a southern preacher, or trying to sound like they country, or trying to sound like they this, that, and the other, and the third, or whatever. Well, motherfucker, you the same motherfucker as me. We on here trying to get motherfucking our dollars and ducats, and we on here trying to motherfucking educate the people in some cases, and in some cases not. Some of y'all just tell plain, blatant fucking lies and the pieces of shit. And as I watch people fluctuate and go in and out of here, or whatever the case may be, and many of you men that go on the girls' accounts and paper them up, these girls that have OnlyFans accounts and 19 and 20 years old, and you encourage them to put up more motherfucking, what's the name? Speaking of Vlad TV, let me tell y'all some shit, right? The nigga Lil Bootsy said something the other day that really stuck out to me. Lil Bootsy said this. Lil Bootsy said, y'all allowed Bad Baby, who was a girl that went on Maury Povich, which ironically enough, Maury Povich is actually filmed right here in my city, or was. It's actually been canceled now. He said, y'all allowed Bad Baby to make over $50 million because she got naked on her 18th birthday. So this goes to show you how many men out there are encouraging women to have OnlyFans and everything else or whatever, because they know they can get paid off you suck ass motherfuckers. Once again, like I said, it goes in contention with social media as a whole. It goes in contention with social media as a whole and the temperature that's on social media. You understand? Y'all out here funding strippers, whores, bitches that want to get BBLs. Y'all out here funding suck-ass niggas that say they're going to open up schools. 10 years later, they don't open them up. Y'all out here funding suck-ass motherfuckers that say they're going to open up a museum after they done pimped and peddled you a motherfucking video or idea in their documentaries that is literally information that if you just took 5 or 6 minutes in your day, you can find this shit within a week. You can find a whole documentary within a week. Now, I know y'all know I'm talking about Tariq Nasheed, but fuck that nigga. Fuck that nigga. You a sucker, man. I don't give a fuck what he say. He's a sucker. Any of these guys that get online and they take money from y'all and can't show y'all what they do with the fucking money, they're suckers. And I'm tired of having to be that guy that every time that I do something or make a move or whatever, I show you guys what I'm doing. And instead of contributing more, motherfuckers contribute less. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's up, Mark 5? What's going on, baby? Is that my man Mark, the comedian? What's going on, man? Ain't nothing to talking this shit, man. If you miss most of this, we just talking about things or whatever. But Bad Baby was able to make $50 million off her OnlyFans campaign. Now, mind you, this chick was a rapper before then. She didn't even make $50 million rapping. But all these suck-ass motherfucking men out here made sure that they went beyond the call of duty to contribute to Bad Baby and make her a multi-millionaire, two-digit millionaire now. This little foul-mouthed ass little white girl that cussed out her mama on Maury Povich. You motherfuckers give yourself a round of applause. Y'all did good. Y'all did good. Good job. Good job. And including, let me tell you something. This is a secret many of y'all may not know. Many of these hotep pretend to be about the people ass motherfuckers contributed to her making that money. I'll say it for you again. Many of these people that get online, they'll act like they want something. What's one thing about me? I'm consistent as fuck. If I say fuck you on Tuesday, that means fuck you on Wednesday. If I say fuck you on Thursday, that means fuck you on Friday. If I say fuck you on Friday, that means the following next 3 days till we round out and get back into Monday. That means still fuck you. And I've always been like that. Always been like that. Ask anybody that knows me. If I don't fuck with you no more, I don't fuck with you. If I don't fuck with you, period, there's very little things that will make me revert back and start fucking with you again. And if I do go back to fucking with you again, it's going to be under my own terms. We are allowing suckers not only to take money out of people and many other YouTubers on here that are worthy of getting donations, not just myself. But you're taking away from not only that, but you're taking away from the viewership. You're taking away from people that are legitimately telling you guys the truth. You are taking away from the paradigm in which you speak in most cases. Many of you guys say you're for the people, you're for advancement of the people or whatever, but you want to put people like Bad Baby in place to rep for the culture. Y'all want to put people in place like strippers. Y'all want to put people in place like motherfucking pedophiles. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You see how that shit got quiet? Huh? Who am I talking about? He was one of those people that was on here too, giving lectures and speeches, hawking his books and shit. You understand? Y'all know who I'm talking about? I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to be polite as I'm going into this conversation. I'm trying to be polite. Y'all funding motherfuckers that wouldn't in any normal sense of the standard be accredited as being shit. Huh? Y'all motherfuckers gotta start waking up, man. That's all I got to say. Other than that, it's starting to cool down out here. You know what I'm saying? Big cousin Davin at y'all. I just want to talk to y'all for a few minutes. And I want to tell you, if y'all run across that Young Jock video that's in the description box, my community section, or if you run across it on Vlog TV, I want you to watch all of it, of course. Shout out to Vlog, man. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? I want to tell y'all to shout out to a couple other people that are out here doing the work, putting in the effort to do what they're doing. I want y'all to go check them out, the YouTubers that are medium base, the YouTubers that have less than 10,000 followers, and donate $5 or $10 to them. Donate $20 to them. Do like I have and be able a monthly subscription rate and contribute to these people. I'm going to put that back into the thing here too. But more importantly enough, I want to say this. If you continue on the path that you guys are continuing on for the next 5 to 10 years and throwing up the same shitty material that you've been throwing up, sitting here funding these fucking whores that are online with their OnlyFans connections and their fucking whore pictures. If you sit up here and keep funding these sucker motherfuckers that sit around all day and every day talking about how they gonna do this, they gonna do that, and they never accomplish anything. If you sit around here and keep funding and supporting these sucker ass young boys and girls that sit around and try to act like they're fucking tough, or try to act like they're fucking as shit and they've done nothing absolutely in life, then everything falls on you after that. And all the real motherfuckers is out here that deserving of it, I hope every last one of them, they get their retribution. I really do. Guys, my name is Davin Lewis, aka Big Cousin Davin. Make sure y'all donate to $STRINGERBELL80. I got a goal of $2,000 this week. If you look at my sayings, I don't get a lot of donations like that or whatever, but we're about to change that. A lot of people think they can come here to my channel. A lot of times they take my material. A lot of times I have material before they have. And a lot of these sucker motherfucker other vloggers too will flag my shit. Report my shit as being their shit or whatever. I just had that go on yesterday with Monique and the upload I did for her. You know, somebody flagged that, and the flag that came, YouTube sent me a message and said, this is unfounded, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It wasn't even looked as a reward. But that goes to show you the lengths and the measures that your own people will go through to keep you down. And I'm here to let you know, you motherfuckers ain't gonna keep me down. And if I gotta talk about every last one of you to get my point across, I will do just so. Thank you very much, Mark 5. Mark 5 says on point. Here we go. I want to say one other thing before I get out of here. If you really want to find out who's who on YouTube, only thing you have to do is this. See, one thing I know, and I know this by psychology, Black and Latin people, they have a premise that they live by. They're ready to jump up in the face. They're ready to try to act cool. They're ready to talk shit and everything else to someone that looks like them. But these same people will never have that same adoration towards whites. You know why? Because they're scared. They're scared. If the war popped off tomorrow and a whole bunch of far right-wingers said, yo, you know what? We're going to go start the motherfucking revolution today. Watch how many of these so-called fucking gangsters that are out here fall back or run. If you need an example of that, up in Buffalo, New York, when they had the Buffalo, New York shooting, I put the video up myself, and I subsequently took it down. But I had the video of when this motherfucker, after he shot those 10 people in that store, them 10 black people in that store, all those black people, they sat out there and they gathered around and watched the police, 2 of them were black police officers, arrest that motherfucker. When there was more than enough people that were out there that they could have started beating the fuck out of that motherfucker in front of the police, stomped the shit out of that motherfucker in front of the police, and instead they sat back like a bunch of bitches and sat there and recorded what was going on. Well, the police here now, the white man here now. The average black and Latin is a coward when it comes to attacking somebody white. I'm going to say it for you again. The average black and Latin, male especially, is a coward. If I said right now I need 10 motherfuckers to get with me because we about to go over here, both black and Spanish. Give me 5 Spanish, 5 black dudes. I need y'all to go over here because we about to go set it on these white folks that did something wrong to somebody in the community. I guarantee you, out of those 5 I asked for each group, it may be 1. It may be 1 out of each one. I don't expect the women to go fight with me, but I'll tell you this much. I bet you some of the women would fight with me before these suck-ass men will. These suck-ass men have been raised by women, most of them. They walk around and jitterbug. They want to, I can't tell you how many times in a day I get one of these sissy-ass little boys, because they think I'm like around the same age they are, that will walk in front of me and try to pimp and show off the sneakers or do some kind of like, this is the thing they always do right here. This is the one that kills me right here. All this little nigga shit, you know what I'm saying? It goes to show me that you wasn't raised with a daddy. You wasn't raised with a daddy. And if you were raised with a daddy, your daddy was a piece of shit too and probably came out of jail 6 or 7 times. You understand what I'm saying? Unversed, uneducated, or whatever. And it goes to show the temperament in which you have towards your own people. Because if you can go out and poke your chest in front of your own people, or more so, nevertheless, poke your chest out at another man that looks exactly like you, and that's the only part of your fronting and stunting, you're a fucking coward. And just like those fucking cowards that were up there and watched that white boy and let the police take him into custody instead of jumping on that motherfucker shot an 86-year-old black woman that provided for the homeless for over 30 years. And now one of y'all motherfuckers sat right there and went and attacked that motherfucker. Y'all sat back like the coward motherfuckers you were and sat there and let that person do that. You sat there and let him arrest him, and it was tons of people out there. Men, even the men that were out there, they were dressed like fucking women. Tight ass tank tops on, their body movements were like a woman. You ever see some of these dudes? Listen, guys, take this, and before I get off here, I want y'all to do this. This is a little social experiment. You know, my minor was sociology in college. I want y'all to do this. The next time you're out in public, or the next time you see some footage of a catastrophe like this, take a look around, and if it's a white person involved, look at the reaction of the black dudes that are sitting around. Yes, I'm calling you motherfuckers out. Look at the reaction of the black and Spanish dudes if it's somebody that's white involved. And you're going to see the reality of everything that I'm talking about come to fruition. These boys are fucking sissies and cowards, most of them. Even the way their body movements are fucking feminine. I've got men that walk past me or come close and try to stand next to me and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, you want a date, motherfucker? They'll try to, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, we got boys out here that are their highlight of their day is trying to get another man's attention. Look what I got on. Look what I got. Nigga, if you don't get them little toys and trinkets the fuck out of my face with that little boy shit. That little boy shit. Nigga, I got motherfucking socks that cost more than you. That little boy shit. And these men, these older men out here are encouraging them to act like that. These men that are 35, 40 years old, 45 years old, 50 years old, black dudes, you're the example that they're taking. Well, daddy or uncle so-and-so act like a sucker, so I'm gonna act like a sucker. You gotta worry more about another black and Latin man in society as a man of color in society than I ever do about white folks. I told y'all, for example, right here, I'm sitting right here having this live with you guys, and every time I look up, I see somebody black or Spanish with some nasty gesture or throwing their chin up in the air like they done made $1 million or something like that. Nigga, I worked for millionaires for 17 years, literally, documented, noted. I worked for Puff, nigga, ain't no more money than that. But they would never know that. Because what they do is they take this perspective, they take this angle of, well, I'm down and out and trodden, and everybody I know is down and out and trodden. So that means anybody that I run into conflicts with that's black or Latino, that means they down, out, and trodden too. Or I work a regular job, so that means you must work a regular job too because we the same color. No, we're not the same, nigga. We're not the same. And for all these coward-ass black and Latin men that want to run around and start problems with their own, but don't want to go out and start problems with white men, don't want to jump up in the face of white men, and when you get challenged by a white man, the only thing you do is you sit around and be like, well, yes, sir, boss, or hesitant. You're a fucking coward. You're a coward. And more people need to start calling these coward-ass young boys and these young girls out. The girls are the same way. When's the last time one of y'all went to a restaurant or something like that, right? And you go to order a coffee, you go to order your food, whatever the case may be, right? And when you do that, you notice the person in front of you, they may be Caucasian or whatever the hell you're doing. They may be Caucasian or whatever, and you'll notice that black, I'm not blaming the white person, I'm blaming them. That black person or that Latin person will have the utmost respect for that white person. And this white person could have just came around the corner and killed 17 motherfuckers, like that boy up in Buffalo, New York. I don't know if y'all know this, but there was a man that was sitting with him the night before he did the shooting that was a black dude. And he had a conversation with him, actually gave him some money to get something to eat. How many niggas you gave to get some money to get something to eat? If it was a black or Latin person that walked up to you that was homeless and was hungry, you would have been like, shoot, get out of my way, bud, bum, loser, go get a job. They would have had so many nasty things to say about it. There's a contention with black and Latin people where they have sympathy and empathy and assertion when it comes to white folks because they think black and Latin men, especially nowadays, they think that is the way to success. This is what's going to make me successful. This is what's going to give me my opportunity. And in reality, what they want to do is they want to get as far away from you as they can. They hate not only you, but they hate themselves. And they believe if they move into these areas, if they move into these situations, it will make them a better person. And I'm here to tell you, as a person that grew up in the suburbs, right? Mostly here in the shoreline in Connecticut, I can tell you for a fact, I grew up with mostly Italians and Greeks, all right? Still my friends to this day. Papadonasio, Vaco, Smen, all these guys I grew up with. I've thrown up pictures of us together, all right? Most of these people that try to fit in with these people, they come from the fucking quaints of the fucking ghetto, all right? They are like the epitome of poverty. And then when they get a couple dollars in their pocket from working these $15 an hour jobs, or which just recently went up, or they get the boost and they buy them a used car from a 2006 and 2007. This is the first time for many of them they ever get the chance to stunt on somebody. Or in many decisions, this is the first time they've ever actually had something. So they don't know any way to do it because they can't stunt on whites. That's what they feel, which is my preference. Y'all, if y'all ever notice me, I like stunting on white people. If you get it fucked up with me and you're white, I'd rather stun on you than stun on black and Latin people. Because if I'm stunting on somebody black and Latin, and like I said, case in point right here. See this motherfucker right here in that Jeep? He just rolled past here and did this to me. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not making this shit up. These black and Latin people that do this shit, they do it because they can't compete with these white folks and they know it. They know it. So instead of doing that, what they want to do is they want to front and stunt with you, especially the men. Some of you women have raised some of the most sissy-ass, fucking finagle-ass, flamingo-ass, fucking sissy-ass boys I've ever met in my life. And the only thing you have taught these boys is how to front and stunt on their own people. Because that's what your mammy did. She fronted and stunted on her own people. Your mama was the bitch that used to go around. Yeah, I said a bitch. Your mama was that bitch that used to go around and be like, yeah, I just bought me a new car, girl. You know, yeah, a little 2009. It's nice, ain't it? It's nice. You want to go for a ride? It's 2009 car, but bitch, we in 2018, 2019, 2022 at the time. What are you talking about? You see what I mean? We got to stop this shit trying to front and stunt on our own. We got to stop this shit with supporting and pushing forward people that do nothing for the culture other than just talk and talk shit all day and every day long. And I'm just tired of it. Now this time, I'm for real gone. Keish77, I appreciate you. Mark 5, I appreciate you. K. Cole, I appreciate you. Todd Kelly. Thank you very much, Todd Kelly. Todd Kelly says respect. Keep moving forward in a positive manner, good brother. K. Cole is always, Viva Net, always. This is one of the regular times. Sometimes people be like, yo, how come you don't talk up more? Why da, 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 da? Well, this is one of them times. And like I said, guys, please feel free to hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. I am a YouTuber. This is how we make our money. And if you don't have Cash App, make sure you hit up the PayPal link or make sure you hit up the GoFundMe link, which are all found in the description. And make sure you join me here later. I'll be back here later and share this post. Please share this post. Because like I said, unlike many of these other guys that are out here that talk and talk a good one, I'm actually accredited and I can actually say what the fuck I'm saying. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Thank you for joining in.